We got some more information via emails on Microsoft and Xbox's dealing with Apple and trying to get Game Pass on to their ecosystem. Welcome back to another video, guys. If you enjoy daily Xbox content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So if you remember months ago when Epic went to court against Apple about Fortnite and in-app purchases and all that kind of stuff, and Microsoft was involved in this case as well, as they were trying to get Xbox Game Pass, the actual app itself that you have on an Android phone, over to iOS. Well, Apple didn't allow that to happen, and the main reason was they wanted Microsoft to create individual apps for every single game, basically because they couldn't control what was inside of the Xbox Game Pass app, the content within there, and they really want to have full control of everything that is on their store, so that when it's pushed out to the user, they can make sure that it meets all the requirements. Well, from what we understand about that previously was that Xbox didn't want to go that way, and that is why they went with their workaround, which they have, which is the getting Xbox Game Pass into a browser on an iOS phone, where you can still access Game Pass, but you just have to use like a Google Chrome browser or something on your Apple device. Well, it looks like that wasn't always the way that they were going to go, as it seems like they were open to just creating individual apps for iOS. Basically, you would have the ability to purchase Halo Infinite as a singular app if you wanted to play that game on your Apple device through Xbox Cloud Gaming. So these are some emails primarily between Microsoft's head of business development, Lori Wright, and other members at Apple's App Store teams, talking about what could be done, the problems with creating just the singular apps, and then the openness overall to actually doing that. So there's emails here, firstly just talking about, I guess, like the customer experience impact and the issues that would go along with actually creating individual apps. Lori right here saying, we believe that the issues described here will create frustration and confusion for customers, resulting in a subpar experience on Apple devices relative to the equivalent experience on all other platforms. Basically, I mean, if you have to purchase every single app, you're going to have tons of different Xbox Game Pass apps or Xbox game apps on your phone rather than having it all one place. Plus, you'd have to pay individually for each one of those games, rather than, I guess, paying the $15 a month you pay right now for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. But after those concerns were laid out within these emails, the conversation between the two companies, they actually were more open to the overall idea of creating those individual apps. And what brought them to this kind of solution was basically they were thinking if they can just be more like shortcut apps that don't all have the entire Xbox Cloud Gaming streaming code within each app, they can kind of just pull from the overall architecture of cloud gaming, kind of like what they say here, what you have on an Apple smartwatch. Lori Wright says, if we have a single streaming tech app, it will be around 150 megabytes, but the other apps will only be roughly 30 megabytes and will not need to be updated when the streaming tech is updated. This will be a better experience for the users, which makes sense. I mean, it's a lot more work to build an individual app that encompasses all of the coding needed for Xbox Cloud Gaming with every single game on that service. And she gets deeper into the reasoning behind why they want to do this. It's pretty interesting. There's all the emails on the link that I'll have in the description if you want to go ahead and read them. But I guess the gist of it is that the streaming tech has to get updated all the time. It's all within the Game Pass app. And if you were to put this all into every single game, you'd have to update each and every Xbox game app that you have on your phone every time the entire service needs an update. And we don't see that, I guess, with the Android version or just with the browser version, because it's all just done behind closed doors. It's all done in the background, and you update it once and then all the games get that updated cloud technology or updated cloud app service that is needed to make sure that things are running correctly. And then Lori Wright goes on to kind of pitch the idea of, imagine having those AAA Xbox experiences on iOS as a single app, saying this would be an incredibly exciting opportunity for iOS users to get access to these exclusive AAA titles in addition to the Game Pass app. So I guess what they were trying to pitch in that scenario was let Game Pass on your service as one app, but at the same time, you can go ahead and purchase any of these big AAA games as a singular app, and you could have literally just Halo Infinite, Gears of War, all those games just as one app on iOS, which if you think about would be nuts to see right now. Like, you open up your iPhone and you just click on the Halo Infinite app and you're instantly playing the AAA experience that we're getting right now on console and PC. Now, interestingly enough, it was Apple that rejected this proposal overall, saying our proposal for bringing games through individual apps was designed to comply with App Store policies. It was denied by Apple based on a request that there be a single streaming tech app to support the individual game apps, as the initial email states. Forcing each game to include our streaming tech stack proved to be unrealistic from a support and engineering perspective and would create an incredibly negative experience for customers. Now, this leads to the next thing, which is in-app purchases, because that was a big deal with the Fortnite thing, was the in-app purchases. And now Epic didn't want to pay like the fees to Apple for the in-app purchases that were made. They wanted to get like the full sum of those purchases and kind of circumvent the App Store regulations that Apple has in there. So it continues on here with Mark Grimm, who is the manager at the App Store, and saying that the streaming tech may have not been the only reason the companies didn't come together on a deal. May have also been money as well, which would be the in-app purchases with all of these games. And the reason he says that is because there's this email here where he talks about how Lori Wright was positive and trying to push her engineering team to be able to find a way to get the streaming stack into every single app. But besides that, they didn't have a solution for in-app purchases and the problems surrounding the App Store and the money being made from those. And Grimm says here their proposal for in-app purchases is still that they process all in-app purchases on their existing system and settle up with us either in real time or monthly. They're not trying to circumvent paying us, they're trying to circumvent a large amount of redundant API work. Now, that sentence there, I mean, it makes a lot of sense from Microsoft's side. Like, okay, you have no problem paying because you're going to make a ton of money from people on iOS accessing your ecosystem and your network. But the amount of work that would have to go into creating all of these single apps, all the tech and all of the cloud stuff in there is probably just insane because of the amount of games on Xbox Game Pass, the amount of human resources, supplies, all that kind of stuff. I'm sure they could do it, but would there be enough return on investment for that? And that's obviously at the end of the day what they figured out was there wasn't, and using a browser solution is a much better viable option for this. Now, with all that being said, from what Apple thinks about this situation with the in-app purchases, Microsoft Corporate Vice President Kareem Chowdhury says that the reason for rejection were unrelated to in-app purchase capabilities. We currently provide Xbox Cloud Gaming through a singular Xbox Game Pass app in the Google Play Store without in-app purchases enabled, for example, and we would do the same through the App Store if allowed. And then goes on to confirm here that in addition to Xbox Game Pass, we were also open to bringing select individual games to iOS as we do today with titles like Minecraft. So it's pretty interesting if you're into this type of stuff. The whole deal with Apple, with Fortnite, with Xbox Game Pass and Microsoft, and it really just sounds like an absurd just deal going on from Apple's side of things, being extremely difficult with their ecosystem. I mean, at the end of the day, Xbox Game Pass, if you look at it, you go through the games, there's only pretty much quality content on there. There isn't anything I think that would be negative for iOS and for their users. But Apple obviously wanted to get or make sure that they got a huge chunk of those in-app purchases. And I don't think Microsoft was that against like having to pay Apple a percentage of all of the in-app purchases that they were going to get. Maybe they were, maybe that was the major deal breaker at the end of the day. We won't ever actually know. And I think that the browser solution we have now for Apple users, I mean, the best we're going to get until they eventually let this app in there. Luckily, I'm on Android. And if you're an Xbox gamer and you like cloud gaming, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's just probably better to look into getting an Android phone because the experience is going to be better overall with just having the app rather than having to go into the browser each time. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Let me know what you think about Apple and Microsoft's side to this thing. Do you think they should have just gone ahead, got rid of the Game Pass app and just built those individual apps? like Apple wanted, or are you happy that they didn't do this and they went ahead with that browser solution? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, you like what you saw throughout this video, I'd really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button to help this channel grow, help grow this community so we can have great conversation in the comments below. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.